Hi, my name is Matt Greiner, and I play drums for the band August Burns Red. My favorite song to play live is actually subjective to the tour that we're on. On this particular tour, my favorite song to play live is Whitewashed. It is the last song in the encore. It's the last song of the set, but it just wraps up the show perfectly, and I can sit back and hit as hard as I want and not really have to worry about having enough energy to play another song because there's not one. It's a really fun song on the kit because it opens up with 16th notes on my feet, and I'm accenting on tom 1 and tom 3 this pattern that kind of complements the rhythm that follows it. It's just a really fun song to play from start to finish. I look to a lot of drummers for inspiration. And it varies from time to time, but one name that has been consistent throughout my entire drumming career is Tony Royster Jr. The first drum solo that I ever saw was Tony Royster playing this awesome solo at the age of 12 or 11. He was really young, and he gets up there and he's like, my name's Tony Royster Jr., and I'm going to play a drum solo for you. I'd like to dedicate this drum solo to the late, great Tony Williams. And he gets up there and his feet are hardly, touching the pedals, and he just plays with so much, happiness. And he's only gotten so much better. I love his solos on Letterman. I love just his speed and the stuff that he comes up with. He's a very creative drummer. I also really look up to a drummer named Aaron Spears. He is one of my favorite people as well as favorite drummers. He just plays drums for the right reasons, and that is because he loves it. He hits so hard. He's so talented, and he's not prideful at all about it. He doesn't really take credit for his ability, and I think that's pretty impressive for someone as talented as Aaron Spears, because he's amazing at drums. My favorite rudiment is probably the 6-stroke roll. It's the first rudiment I learned that wasn't, the typical paradiddle, which I've known for as long as I can remember. The 6-stroke was the first rudiment I learned that actually applied to the kit in a way that I felt excited about. My friend Blake Richardson from Between the Bird and Me showed it to me, and it was just a really fun rudiment to try on the kit, and and just kind of mess around with and write into my band's songs. I don't have to wear anything in particular when I play, but I just like to be comfortable, and I don't like to have to worry about doing laundry all the time, and so I usually wear the same thing for nights in a row, a couple nights in a row. I prefer shoes that hold up and shoelaces that don't come undone. Just pretty common sense stuff. Like, I don't need anything in particular to be able to play. The other night it was funny, I was playing in these shoes, actually, my Nikes. They're pretty old, and the shoelace got caught around the beater in the middle of one of the songs, and so I went to kick, obviously, and the beater was held back by my own shoe. So it's kind of a mess when you're playing, in the middle of a show and you have to reach down and untangle the shoelace. But just common sense stuff. Like, I'm not going to wear anything baggy. I'm not going to wear anything heavy. I'm not going to wear boots to play. Nothing in particular to play. For August Burns Red, double pedal. The obvious reasons would be I have to match what the guitars are doing, the bass is doing. I enjoy playing single pedal at church, but subjective to what I'm doing. The most unique ABR song is, in regards to drums, is probably majoring in the minors, which is on Found in Faraway Places. And the reason for that is it has a couple different parts in it that are different from what I've written in the past. I mean, there are nuances in a lot of our new songs that are different, but this song has some Afro-Cuban, influence in the one section. I use that word or that term very loosely. But I like to experiment with different styles and sounds on the kit. There's one at the end of Spirit Breaker that I can play, but if I were to try to break it down, I wouldn't be able to, because it's very linear and all over the place. I recorded it, I thought it sounded cool, and then I went back and tried to learn it, and it's a mess trying to relearn something like that. In regards to August Burns Red, I'm pretty content with my kit and cymbal setup because it works. My cymbals all project pretty well. My bells and splashes and little chinas project pretty well. And I only need a 5-piece, 2 high toms, floor tom, snare, and kick. I like my sizes. Pretty happy with everything. I mean, I'm always experimenting with different cymbals in some capacity. A little bit, a 19-inch versus an 18-inch, or a different kind of china or hats, but nothing different enough that you're going to, really notice it from the crowd. If I hadn't started August Burns Red in my parents' basement 14 years ago, it's hard to imagine what I'd be doing. I think I would probably be a teacher. I could be a teacher. I think I would enjoy that, math or English or something. The reason I say that is because I teach drums and I really enjoy it. It's one of my favorite things on tour and at home that I do. But yeah, that said, I think I would have enjoyed August Burns Red just like I enjoyed a lot of other metal had I not started the band, just because I like the progressive elements of it and the heavy elements of it. But I don't know that at age 31 I'd still be listening to a lot of heavy music had I not started the band. I always try to push myself as a drummer to get better. There are so many different ways I can improve my instrument, and I work on the things that I'm weak in, and then I work on the things that I'm interested in. And so those two things together, I hope I'm headed in a direction where I'm better at the things that I wasn't good at before, and also I learn things that I've always wanted to learn. So I'm taking lessons from places like Mike'sLessons.com, and just always watching the drummers around me to see what I can pick up on. The band I would play for, if I could play for one band for a day, would be Hillsong United, hands down. Early on, I listened to a lot of local progressive metal bands that didn't really ever go anywhere, but they introduced me to bands like Extol, who was on Solid State Records, who has a drummer named David Husvik, who was very, very talented and came up with different time signatures and stuff. Band called Zayo, band called Norma Jean, and then bands like Unearth and their record The Oncoming Storm. That was a very influential record. Nowadays I don't really listen to metal CDs for influence. I just listen to music for fun, just because I'm kind of encompassed by the genre and the style, in general. I don't think I'd rewrite any of them. I'm very happy with the the way the drums are on all August Burns Red songs. Just because I spent a lot of time on them, on each and every one of them. And it'd feel weird to go back and change stuff. But yeah, I think I'd keep everything the same. I would choose Adam Gray to replace me in the band if if I were to leave or quit, or they would need another drummer. Absolutely. The number one most underrated drummer, I think, is Adam Gray. Number two would probably be Blake Richardson. I would consider him underrated from Between the Bird and Me. In the sense underrated, I guess if I could define that as I wish I could tell everyone about them. I would say Aaron Spears because of the influence he's had in my life and on my drumming.